Civil Services exam for 2019 has been announced. Fever among the 8 to 10 lakh applicants is high. Everyone is concerned about strategy, about what they need to clear the exam and become civil services officers to serve our country. To answer some of these questions, we have with us today Dr. Dalip Singh, an IAS officer of the 1982 batch of the Haryana cadre. We shall speak to him today and get some of the insight that he can give us of his 30+ years of experience in the service, and he will tell us what we need to clear and become good officers of the Indian government. Sir, thank you for taking time out being with us today. Sir, a lot of people want to apply for this exam. They want to become civil servants. They want to make their contribution to the government. What do you think are the tips that you could share with them for them to be able to do well and clear this exam?
Thank you very much. As you rightly said that around 8 to 10 lakh people apply for UPSC civil services every year for the services like IAS, IPS, foreign service, railway service and so on. And out of that, less than 1,000 people are chosen, after preliminary examination, main examination and interview. So naturally these people are taking coaching from coaching centers or other institute, doing self-study also, and they do have a lot of queries, how to prepare for this exam, because this exam is supposed to be a very tough exam. So I have myself been in the IAS for more than 35 years and so on. I have worked with hundreds of IAS officers, and also I have interacted with the young boys and girls who have recently got into the survey. And based on the interaction with them, I have come to certain conclusions, and that how to go about the preparation of this exam. So today I am going to talk about how to prepare for the UPSC Civil Services preliminary examination. Broadly, I'll be covering 4 areas. One area would be that what kind of a psychological mindset a candidate should have to clear this exam, which is very important. Secondly, we would talk about the strategies which may be adopted to clear this examination.
Right.
And thirdly, I'll speak about the certain myths, certain misgivings, or certain wrong notions which candidates have. So we'll try to dispel those myths, etc. And finally, about certain general things, about general advice or general recommendation to candidates.
Right, sir. So, sir, you spoke about a psychological mindset that someone needs to have. What do you mean when you say psychological mindset?
So this is very important. The candidates who are appearing must have a particular kind of personality traits. Now, with the personality traits, I mean that they should have a psychological mindset where it should be reflected from their behavior, from their talk, that they are keenly interested in applying for this exam.
Right.
For example, I would say the one strong emotion they should have is the passion.
Right.
You should have passion, and passion would mean very strong feeling to learn about this exam. If you do not have passion, then there is no need to apply one, because you can see that around 8 to 10 lakh people apply for UPSC every year, but actually in the preliminary exam around 5 lakh people appear. So that means that around 50% of them were just applied just for the sake of it. So if you should have very strong passion. Secondly, some more personality traits, like you should have motivation. Your motivation level has to be very high. Competitiveness, your leadership traits, and so on. And one more, let me count, that you should be cheerful, so that you no depression, no anxiety, no stress comes
in the way of your preparation.
And so this way, if you have this mindset, then you do much better in the exam. Similarly, you should have a positive attitude. This is also very important. And positive attitude would mean that you should believe that you can do it. Like I would like to give you one mantra, a mission, that I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, or I will do it, I will do it, I'll do it. I would rather suggest that you use this mantra 4 or 5 times in a day. In psychology, we call it self-hypnosis. So you have to hypnotize yourself to the extent that you are able to prepare for this exam. And finally, I would say that avoid negativity, avoid negative thoughts, be positive, and this is called in psychology being emotionally intelligent. So be emotionally intelligent, avoid negativity, have positive thoughts.
So sir, your insight on psychological aspects of preparation for the exam was something that was very new, I think, to all of us. And we always only believe that we need to have a strategy in mind to clear the exam, and psychology is not given that much importance when we are prepping. So now that we know that we can psych ourselves to do so well, what do you propose would be the best strategy in terms of studies that we can apply in order to clear the prelims?
We all have a different personality. We all have individual differences. So the strategy for one person may not be entirely suitable as a strategy for another person. But still, each candidate should have his own strategy based on his or her capabilities. For example, the first strategy I'll start with is that UPSC has very clearly mentioned in its syllabus the questions which will be asked in the preliminary examination would be of school level,
right?
Not graduation level, not on post-graduation level. So class 12 standard they say. So the candidates first should prioritize and read the basic books. That is the reason you say that most of the time people say that you should read NCERT books, right? Because those are basic books which clears your fundamental. So the basic book should be read, and one should not go for the PhD material or the post-graduation material and up to graduation level, from 12 to graduation level. So that it is the one strategy. If you adopt, you will do well. Secondly, the candidate should have detailed understanding of all the topics and subtopics of the syllabus. Further, the candidate should have detailed understanding of the previous year papers. This is also very important, and luckily these days the previous papers are available on the internet, also in the print media, also you can buy it from anywhere. So you should see the trend of the question which is being asked in the preliminary examination, although there is a possibility that the same trend may not continue, but still it will give you enough understanding if you go through the previous year papers and solve them yourself. There's too much of reliance on the coaching centers these days. People want to join institutes or coaching centers, and so I'm all for coaching centers. If you require a particular kind of knowledge, you must join. But self-study is must. So you have to combine your coaching centers along with your self-study. So devote as much time as you can for the self-study. Now, another interesting thing people ask is the time management. I have been interacting with many candidates who have got into UPSC recently, and some of them have been telling me that they were studying for 18 to 20 hours a day.
Yes, sir.
Even now, I meet many candidates who are appearing, the aspirants who are appearing for the civil service, and they say they put in 18 to 20 hours of study. So I really wonder how one can put in so many hours of study every day. So I suggest that time management should be done in a realistic way. I think 6 to 7 hours of study, that also in 2 phases in a day, should be sufficient, because reading is not important, retention is more important. So if you are reading it and not retaining it in your brain, then I think you are not doing justice. So one more thing I have noticed, that the aspirants who are appearing for the civil services fail to differentiate between what is relevant and what is not relevant.
Yes. What
is to be read and what is not to be read. So they are reading almost everything available under the sun. So that should be avoided, and you should be able to decipher the right things for you, and decide what is relevant and what is relevant. You just can't keep reading whatever comes to your mind. Another strategy is to look for the case studies, test series, TV, newspaper. You can even interact with the peer group who are appearing for the exam. You should also interact, if possible, with the candidates who have recently cleared the exam. So that would help you in building your confidence level. And the last strategy I would tell you is that is the secret mantra, is to revise. Many times people say that when exams come, they are not able to cover more than 60-70% of the syllabus, but that will not do. You have to revise, not only complete the syllabus once, twice or thrice. I would suggest that you should complete your syllabus at least 4 times, revise it. Revision is the key. And if you are not able to cover the exam, cover the entire syllabus even once, then that is not going to help. So revision is the key, and that is my final strategy.
Thank you, sir, for those tips on strategy. I think what sir had to say was very relevant and in a sense very simple. The key is to keep it simple, make your notes, revise, and keep your calm. So the last point that you made about not being able to revise the entire syllabus, that is a concern that a lot of IAS aspirants have in terms of what exactly is the entire syllabus. There has always been this misconception about the civil services exams that you just have to know everything about everything.
Yes.
The syllabus is very vast. There is no definitive structure that one can follow to study it. So do you think these things are true, sir?
No, I don't think this is true. Most of the time, many people tell me that the syllabus is vast, it is vague, or it is not specified. And as you rightly said, they say that almost everything under the sun, you have to read it. I don't agree. So this misconception must go. Like I will tell you, like in the preliminary examination, my understanding is that very well defined topics, and not only topics, subtopics have been given. For example, there are 2 papers called CSET 1 and CSET 2. So let's talk about CSET 1. We have UPSC has clearly defined the topics under it. For example, you have Indian polity, history, general science. In the general science, you have biology, chemistry, physics, science and technology, economy, geography, art and culture, and current affairs, of course. Now you can see there are 8 to 10 topics they have given, and there are 100 questions they ask, and every year 8 to 10 or 10 to 12 questions from each category come. So it is wrong to say that CSET 1 is very vague and you have to read, because as I have pointed out that it is very specific. CSET 2 also, people say that it is abstract reasoning and mental ability and mathematics and other things. There also I find that it has been very well defined. For example, the course covers reasoning, analytical thinking, abstract thinking, mental ability, problem solving, data interpretation, English comprehension, etc., etc. And most of the questions are there to test the logical thinking of a person. And many times people say that it is very tough exam.
Yes.
Very, very tough exam. So my answer to this query is that if it is tough for you, then it is tough for everybody.
That is true.
So enjoy.
Sir, you very rightly pointed out that CSAT 1 is more about retention power and retentive learning, whereas CSAT 2 concentrates more on the understanding, reasoning and logical thinking aspect of students. So I think that clears it for a lot of people as to how much emphasis they need to give on which area, and everyone knows what their strengths and weaknesses are, so they can prepare for each paper accordingly. So you've given us very good insights into the exam. As a final word, with all your years of experience and your interaction with so many civil servants, young, old, experienced, fresh, what is the advice you'd like to give to candidates for the exam and beyond?
Well, I would like to tell the aspirants that in the UPSC, the conventional type of questions are not being asked these days. The questions being asked are multi-dimensional questions, and they have multi-dimensional answers also. So the candidate should also think that UPSC is not looking at your bookish knowledge. UPSC is looking for the persons who are practical, who have to join civil services and solve the problems. So book knowledge days are gone, and bookish knowledge will not work. Another important thing is the hard work. There is no substitute of hard work, and whosoever I have talked to said that hard work is the key. So you must put in as many hours you can, as productive hours as you can, and do the hard work. And I will say that perseverance is the key. You should motivate yourself. You should have a positive environment around yourself. You should be able to manage the stress and depression levels while preparing, because it takes a long time. It's 1.5 years. If you don't qualify, so 1.5 years is gone. And make a strategy in such a way that you are appearing for an exam to clear it. And if preparations are done in a systematic way, nothing can stop you from clearing this exam.
Sir, that was very valuable advice indeed. Sir made a very valid point to all civil service aspirants, which is that go beyond what your coaching centers and your books are teaching you. Learn to find your strengths, work on your personality, and have courage and faith in who you really are, because that is what will take you farthest when it comes to clearing the civil services exam. Study hard, but don't forget to study smart. Revise, persevere, keep a positive outlook, and I'm sure that that will get you through the civil services exam. Thank you, sir, for giving us time.
Thank you very much. This was about the preliminary examination, and as we move on, I'll be coming with the how to prepare for the main examination also. So see you. Goodbye.